police! Get down on the phone! What are you looking for? You're making a big mistake. And he's only a kid.
Dad, I haven't done anything.
He's a good kid. Jamie, I want you to listen carefully.
What's going on?
I'm going to start off with asking you.
Do you know a girl called Katie Leonard? Yeah? Describe each other as friends, then.
Is she dead, then?
Why would you ask her?
First of all, congratulations. It's an absolutely staggering piece of television. Most people will never have seen anything like this. The challenge of making a drama with a heavy subject like that, but making it the way you did. First of all, let's talk about how, I mean, you co-wrote it, how you chose the subject matter. In a way, the subject matter couldn't be more timely.
Yeah, and that was not a conscious decision at all, was it? In many respects, you know, I think there's a pandemic of knife crime in our country. Do you know what I mean? And this particular type of thing that I looked at, it really hurt my heart when there was a few incidents of young boys stabbing young girls. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not going to call them men because they're not men. Yeah. They are young boys. And there was quite a few incidents up and down the country, and it just, like I said, it hurt my heart. And we were having a conversation, and I said to Phil, I think maybe we should follow this storyline in the car, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Straight away, and then it all just kind
all in the back of a car.
It just came then.
So it's a discussion between both of you. What were you hoping to achieve by this? Just explore it, or obviously not resolve it? But it's interesting that you offer no concrete answers, and that's what's perhaps most chilling about the drama. But was that a conscious decision? You know, we're just going to portray a circumstance. We're not going to say we've got the resolution here.
Yeah, it's a fictional story, you know, but it is sort of inspired by events that have happened and are still happening. So, you know, I think our intention was to make a good drama, but to spark conversation,
to create awareness. Look, we don't have the answers, and we're not saying we do. We're not also, you know, we're not shouting it from the rooftops neither. What we're doing is we're just kind of saying, let's have a look at this, shall we? As a society, surely we need to address these kind of things within the concept of, you know, young boys growing up. And I think that was our main aim, wasn't it? Really, not to, you know, we're not saying, oh, this is what happens, this is what we should be doing. It's not that at all. We're just saying, let's have a look at this, and hopefully our main aim, if I'm really honest, the objective for me and Phil and for everyone that was involved in the piece, Jack especially, do you know what I mean, is to create conversation in homes with fathers and sons and fathers and daughters and mothers and sons and mothers and daughters, to try and create that conversation about how to navigate the world today, do you know what I mean, really? Because I think one of the main aims we found as we were doing the research and as we were discussing it is how much the internet and how much phones and laptops and iPads parent, but also teach our kids just as much as we and the school do you know what I mean, today? So I think a lot of the stuff is coming from the internet, and we just would like to be mindful of that. That's all we're saying, do you know what I mean?
Talk to your kids, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
It's going to be very chilling, this, for parents to watch, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what it should be. Look, we were brought up on great drama, do you know what I mean? We were brought up on strong television that was saying something. You know, if you look at the likes of Boys from the Black stuff and things like that, and one of my main influences and one of my main heroes was Alan Clark, and how he kind of, you know, what me and Phil have tried to do, and what we try to do with Boiling Point as well, is put a mirror up to society and just say, have a little look, just see what's going on. Do you know what I mean? And if we can create that conversation, that's our main objective, really, I think.
I mean, knife crime is, I mean, we could be having this conversation last year or the year before. It's sadly always going to be timely, isn't it? The phrase toxic masculinity is one that is talked about a lot in the last few years. Is that a phrase that either of you were aware of as you were being brought up? Because it seems to me that it's a description of our times.
I think, you know, what Steve was saying about the internet and social media and all that has a huge part to play in all of that. And when we grew up, we didn't have any of that. So, you know, you don't hear about it as much, and you certainly didn't, you know, feel it growing up.
But we're also living in an age, aren't we, where most people know who Andrew Tate is. And that he's an internet figure who is also known to all of our kids.
Yeah.
So that is a bit of a disturbing development. I mean, obviously, that was that part of the reference points in making this?
Not specifically him. There's lots of different people, do you know what I mean? And Jack, I mean, Jack's the one to speak to more about that, because Jack did a hell of a lot of research.
Yeah.
And Jack found that there's a lot of dark beliefs on the web. And so it was not necessarily aimed at one specific person, but just the generalization of the possibilities of what influences can have on our youth. And then I think what we did, which was quite clever, personally, none of the kids mention it.
Yeah.
It's only from the parental side of it,
And the police.
who can't quite understand it. Yeah, the police and the parents who can't quite understand it, and that's who they look upon to see where the information has come from. Do you know what I mean? And then, in the same respect, there's evidence on the kids' phone that was saying those kind of things as well. Do you know what I mean?
So the decision to shoot this in the one take, is that a very important part of telling this story?
I mean, with a one take, it doesn't lend itself to every story, but we realised quite early on that this could be told in that way. You know, because what you're doing is you're forcing a specific perspective on an audience so that they can't take their eyes off it, and they almost feel like they're watching it live, you know, like they're part of it. You know, like I say, you can't do that with every story, but with this, we wanted to just dip the audience in at a specific moment in time per episode, and then pull them back out again, and then dip them in 3 days later, then, you know, a couple of months later or whatever, so that the audience are like having to catch up as well and have to think on their feet and be like, okay, where are we, what's happened, or you know, paint the picture themselves, and it becomes like more of an immersive experience. And I think what it does is it also adds an extra layer of anxiety and tension. You know, we're all so used to watching things with one eye on the telly and one eye on our phones and stuff like that. But what this does is it makes you sit up and pay attention, you know, for an hour.
And as an actor, it's the most amazing experience, you know what I mean? Because you're marrying both disciplines. So you've got that kind of live spontaneity of theatre, and the energy that creates on set. And you know, without sounding too pretentious, it's the most zen I've ever been on a set in a production, because we are all in that kind of, you know, athletes have that wonderful moment of the flow. When you watch, you know, when like Liverpool play footy, or any team plays footy, do you know what I mean? The collective of the team, and the passing of the ball and the movement, and everyone knowing their positions, and that's the only thing I can compare it to. But you have that wonderful kind of energy of theatre in a way, but you're also then, you know, the minimalism and the kind of naturalism of film and television. So you marry both disciplines, and it's just a wonderful experience.
But talk about challenging.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As a director and as the actor, I mean, I can't imagine it being any more challenging than attempting to do this the way you've chosen to do it.
It's exhilarating.
Yeah.
It's stressful, but in the best possible way. You know, it's like what Steve said. It's like doing theatre. But you know, for me as a director, most of my work is done during the rehearsals. So we have 2 weeks rehearsal, and then we go into the shoot week, and we do it twice every day.
We only do 2 takes a day.
2 takes a day. So we've got 10 of the same episodes.
10
yeah.
takes.
Yeah.
Possibly 10 takes.
Of each
I think we
episode.
did end up with 14.
Yeah, because we had to sort of stop-start at times, like just one.
Sometimes the cup wasn't there in the
Yeah.
game.
Oh yeah, the cup wasn't there.
The cup
Yeah.
wasn't
Or the
there.
lights
How
went out.
annoying
the
would
lights
that be
went out,
that
yeah.
you had to do it again because the cup wasn't there?
Yeah, yeah. but it's this dance, and if the cup's not there, then that sparks something else for Stephen later, and so you're just like, no, the cup's not there. We've got to start again. Little things.
Tiny little things.
Tiny little things.
We never. What the other thing is as well was once you set off, once you're off the blocks, that's it. We're away.
Yeah.
So we don't cut or pause or come back if we're so far down the line. Do you know what I mean? You just carry on.
Yeah.
But if you're within the first 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 minutes, and something major's gone wrong, then we will start again. But if we get past that point, then we're just off.
But so much pressure on the individuals to get the shot right, to put the cup in the right place.
Yeah.
But for the actors to absolutely remember more or less what their lines are, because imagine if you really screw it up and everyone else around you has been phenomenal and remembered everything. That is a lot of pressure.
Well, you don't want to drop the ball, do you? No one wants to drop the ball. But then in that same respect, you know, you've got that whole kind of, the camaraderie for everybody is like a theatre production, do you know what I mean? So the support you have from the rest of the cast and the crew were immense, do you know what I mean? Absolutely unbelievable. We had 2 cameramen on the whole shoot because it was too much for one man, wasn't it? It was too much for one cameraman to be able to do. So there's times when they pass the camera to each other, do you know what I mean?
I wonder if anybody you asked to be in this would have stepped back and thought, that's not for me, I can't do that.
Ashley thought it for a second.
He did think it for a second.
Yeah.
Because it's not normal, is it? It's not a normal way of working.
Yeah,
you've got to either lock in or, you know, lock yourself out. You know.
Yeah.
You know, because you can't come into it like, you know, thinking, oh, I'll have a go. You've got to be like, oh no, I've got to do this.
What the wider view of the drama, which is also something that's, I know that's one. When I interviewed you a few years ago, you used the phrase "we don't all live in Downton Abbey" to talk about a lack of diversity on television. Are we in a better place now?
I think that opportunities are being created more. And one of the things I'm exceptionally proud of with this production is the fact that we've found Owen, and it seems like hopefully we've created a career. And I think we have, do you know what I mean? And that's down to our wonderful casting director, Shaheen Beg, who's phenomenal. Phil, the rest of the other producers that were involved, Joe Johnson, Hannah, Mark, Emily, the producers. You saw over 500 tapes, didn't you? Over 500 kids.
More.
But as well, and I'm not being disrespectful in any way, shape or form, please, I'm not. What we wanted to do, and it was a conscious decision we made from the very beginning, we didn't want to, and look, everybody has their place, we didn't want a young lad who'd been through a kind of theatre school or a drama school environment. So Owen, and you've seen Owen's performance, it's phenomenal. And Owen had never done anything before. Yeah. He'd never done anything, he'd never done any acting. He went to a little drama group for a couple of times, but he'd never done any performance. So in that respect, I'm very proud of the fact that we as a collective, our ethos is to try and create opportunities both in front and behind the camera. Yeah. And I think we've done that. He's working with Margot Robbie now, do you know what I mean? Yeah. He's playing young Heathcliff. He's smashing it. So, and he did a great little series after we'd finished. Yeah. So hopefully, Owen's a normal kid from a council estate. His mum and dad are gorgeous, do you know what I mean? They're really beautiful people. He's got wonderful parents. He's a wonderful young man, he really is. He's a dream, he's an absolute dream. And his talent and his ability is second to none. He's phenomenal. Yeah. So if anything, if the only thing that ever comes from this production is the fact that we've created an opportunity for a young lad to do something that he would never normally get the chance to do, then I think we can put our heads on the pillow and go to sleep nicely at night, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on putting your money where your mouth is, because you talked about this a while ago.
It's what we both believe in, do you know what I mean? It's what we believe in.
This is how you do it, isn't it? So, thank you.
And we're not one of them people who are just going to sit and talk for 17 hours about, oh, maybe we could do this or maybe we should do that. Just do it.
Do it, yeah.
Just try and do it, get it done, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Everybody in the whole cast is unbelievable.
Thank you.
You know, it is the most staggering piece of television, honestly. I think it's absolutely amazing. I was saying that to Philip, I thought, I'll just watch the first one. Come on, I'll limit yourself to the first one, Nina. I just couldn't move. I watched all 4 because I got a preview thing. I just sat and watched all 4.
Watched them all in one go.
They went for a long walk.
Yeah. Oh, wow, yeah.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Thank you.
So thank you for making it as well. So,
Thank you. Thank you very much.